Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast with PJ and Mike. Now find yourself a seat at their table.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast with PJ and Mike. I'm PJ.
And I'm Mike.
And today we're talking about arcades, our favorite arcade machines, the ones we played growing up as a kid. But we're going to start off reviewing the Retro Arcade Night from Cradle of Aviation, which is actually an aviation museum, an airplane museum. And I guess that's considered Uniondale? Or
I think it's Garden City.
Garden City?
Yep.
So basically that's a venue that houses World War II planes, some other planes, stuff from the different space travels and things like that. But they use that event space also for other events. And they have comic shows, candy shows, beer shows. And last night they had an arcade night. So we were there last night.
Yep.
Less than 12 hours ago, the cool kids were playing video games at arcade night. So we thought we'd start off reviewing that.
Yep.
So, jumping right in, what was your favorite game last night?
I think mine, dude, was Crazy Taxi.
Yeah, I think so too.
That was a blast from the past, and this was like on Dreamcast, folks. It wasn't like in the
not in like a cabinet, an arcade cabinet. This was they had a Dreamcast set up.
Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed that, and what was it? X-Men versus Capcom.
That's a good one.
That one was good. I don't know. Those are funny games are always fun. You know,
yeah.
It's always best when you get to play. Playing one by yourself is okay if you want to unlock crap. But when nothing beats that like head-to-head
of course.
combat. Mm-hmm.
I think Crazy Taxi was a good one, and for me, NFL Blitz was a good one too.
Yes.
That was a good one.
That was great.
That was a close game we
I forgot
had.
about that one. Yeah, that was awesome.
But they had a ton of games, so we'll go through some of the ones that they had. But yeah, those were, I think, Blitz and I think Crazy Taxi were probably the two I enjoyed the most. So I'll set the stage a little bit. You show up to the Cradle of Aviation, which is a nice looking building. It's like a glass building. Yep. It looks nice. It's not like a dump. It's a really nice museum.
It's a beautiful museum.
Yeah, it's very well maintained. So you wait on a long line to get in, but it moved quick. It moved quick. And you walk into an empty space. So the first thing I think, that's such a big area down there. They should use that for something.
I know. They should have us wait inside
instead of outside.
Cold.
Yeah. I don't know if you could put more games down there, if there's something else you can do there. Maybe set up tables of consoles or something in that space, roll out a couple of folding tables, put some TVs and hook up some Xboxes or something. But it's a waste of space.
Yeah, they should just really load up with all vendors. Just put more comic vendors or
something.
Because they had that there, guys. They had merchandise and video game crap, Just load it up. Why not? Make it big. When you want to make more money?
Yeah, I would think. And the problem is where they keep the video games, they do have a lot of games. They have a lot of great arcades there and console games and stuff. But it gets very tight because it's all in one section.
Yeah.
But you have an entire event space you're not using. So you could have spread it out and we wouldn't have had to have 1,000 people on top of us. That was the first thing I noticed about the arcade night is why are we not using all the available space? But after that, you walk in and you go upstairs and they have tons and tons of machines. They have old school ones from the 80s. They have, I think I saw games from before the 80s, like 70s, 80s, 90s.
They have the original Pong where you have use those, I guess, I don't know if it's called an odometer.
Yeah.
Kind of use
those dials or whatever they are.
Yes, that's it, dials, yep. And then they have, if you can try to paint a picture, like you said, so you actually walk up these stairs. You first walk in, has all these old school, they have all these nice setups where they actually almost they try to keep it museum. They have little facts this is the Atari.
I like that. Yeah, I like that.
They have Mortal Kombat, also was released in '92, and in the whole
little history about it. Yeah.
So, but then actually, folks, they actually encourage a cosplay. So they do have a cosplay best costume Shredder one. PJ, were you with us at that point?
Yeah, I was there. Okay. I was there.
Shredder won. Someone dressed up as Shredder.
Punky Brewster. Was Punky.
Too. And then they also have a karaoke night, so it's a lot of, and they sell alcohol there, and so it's a good time. It's mainly adults, but you have kids running around, more tweens. At the youngest.
I will say the adult Ecto Cooler spiked with the, I think it was vodka they put in there.
I think they put Bacardi in it.
It was really good. It did not taste alcoholic. That thing could be dangerous if you weren't paying attention. You could drink a bunch of them. It tasted really like the old Ecto Cooler juice box, just like it. It was really good.
Yeah, and then around that, right where then like where you have like the food, they have all these like vendors. So they have like someone selling like old school VHS now. They had a used band shirts that are going for like $300 a pop.
That was ridiculous. There was a Green Day T-shirt. Your brother used to have that shirt. You said right?
Yep.
They were selling it for like almost $400 for a used T-shirt. I have old T-shirts.
Yeah.
I'll sell them. Ridiculous. I couldn't imagine that it would have been that expensive. That was
for
nuts.
a used one, man. No way.
Not for a new
T-shirt.
one.
Yeah.
I could just make that shirt. You could just
now
make
with
it.
The power of you have today with absolutely. Yeah, then they have like just like regular like TV sets like CRTVs and you know with PlayStation 2 on it, all that stuff. They had a little corner for like a tournament. They had a Mario Kart, the old school from Super
Oh, really?
Nintendo
I didn't see
there.
that in the corner.
Yeah.
I didn't go that far back.
And they had some other tournament. I forgot what other game they had for a tournament. I'm like, I really wish they had more of games that are like play Mario Kart from like 64 or like that one's so old. You get more of a competition doing that instead of just there's only 2 remotes. You can get 4 people at once. And you don't get more action going.
They definitely did have a lot of consoles there, which I thought was interesting because it's arcade night and they set up a lot of PlayStations, which I thought was. I mean, it's not a bad idea. It's not really an arcade. And they had a lot of the newer ones. I saw they had like I think an Xbox One and stuff there.
Yeah,
I'm
they
like,
had all that.
This doesn't feel retro. This is too new. I think they should have kept it more retro and they should have busted out an Atari somewhere.
Yeah, there was an Atari.
Was there?
Yeah. I saw it. It was on but they had like Pitfall on it. But yeah, they have like I call it Arcade Alley, where it's like this kind of narrow hallway, and it's just like they have like the black lights, and it's all like dark, and you got Tron, you got a pinball machine, you got all the classics. Marvel
Not a
vs.
lot of
Capcom.
pinball. I only saw like
Yeah, it
one
was
or 2 machines, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, not a lot of pinball, and I thought that was weird because I know a lot of people could spend time on the pinball.
Yeah.
We had an episode where we spoke about the pinball arcade place in Huntington. I was surprised to not see more pinball machines, but I guess they take up more space.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a great time. I think the best things about it, folks, is like you just pay an entrance fee and all the games are free to play. So you're not slapping in quarters. And I mean, that's old. That's rare now, unless you go into like a Dave and Buster's where they rip you off on those cards, those stupid credit cards.
And I thought it was fairly priced. It was like $20.
Yeah, in advance if you buy online. Yeah, it's 25 bones to get in. But yeah, it went from 7 to 11. But yeah, I would definitely recommend for those locals on Long Island. Or for those who maybe in other states or across the seas, if they're hosting one, probably check it out.
Yeah, I'm sure they must. I don't think it's the actual museum hosting it. I think there were other people there that use the space. I'm sure they do events in other places. So it was definitely worth it. It was a great time. A lot of good games there. Like I said, the Blitz was great.
Yeah, that was awesome. That's what and we're gonna get into more arcade games. What I miss, PJ, about especially sports games, because I think like maybe I'm getting old, PJ. I feel like sports games today, like NBA 2K, they're like, yes, it's more of a learning curve, But like the best thing about it is like I haven't played Blitz in like decades. I was instantly able to start playing. Now
you need like 3 buttons, you were good to go.
Yeah, this like you need to like I feel like all these NBA 2 you need to like God, you have to like really practice to like
it's a
learn,
lot.
Like a learning curve. I can't just jump in and start playing and actually have fun. It's like
So they had
like
NHL 94 there, right? And that game is another one you could jump in. There's like an A button and a B button. You're either shooting or hitting. Like that's it.
Yep.
I play the NHL games still, and when you play those games now, it's so advanced. You have to like one of the joysticks, like whatever you call them, like the thumb, whatever, right? I'm so old, I don't know what you call those anymore, but you know what I mean. That you have to control the stick.
Yeah, itself, and like kind of like go
and like you have to deke.
Yep.
I don't have time to learn how to deke in a video game. I just want to like shoot the puck.
Yeah.
If you're gonna
wind it up, the power,
it's so much. We played that game last night. You just shoot it, and and that's it, and it's just more fun.
I was gonna say, I wish they, like you said, use the bottom space. Maybe because it's too heavy. They need to get a whole row of like Daytona USA.
Oh
just have a bunch of racing games.
They didn't have any racing games.
None.
You're right.
They need if you had a nice like row of just like racers, the motorcycles, all that crap.
I didn't even realize that. Now that you mention it, they didn't have a single one.
That'd be awesome. Because I know David Bros, they have like a Mario Kart one. If you have one of those, nice.
They have a Jurassic Park one. You could shoot the dinosaurs and shit.
Oh, yeah? While you're driving?
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, there used to be a Terminator game too, like that, where you like it wasn't a driving game, but you were inside a box and you had the big gun.
Yep, exactly. And they need more gun games. I wrote that on my thing.
Yeah, they didn't have many. I think I saw one. It's like Duck Hunt or something. I think.
Right. Yeah. But like you said, you want to sit on the console. And
and you want to like shoot some aliens and shit. Yeah,
exactly. PJ, so I would recommend that for the places. Get some kind of racing games, like some kind of something to sit in.
I agree.
Sure. And like I said, talk about like organizationally, like they had us waiting online, folks. And wouldn't it make sense to have one line for prepaid tickets and one line to have to?
Yeah, they didn't do that.
No. But we did wait on. I asked someone, and then they ended up letting some guy, one of the workers, got smart and said like, "Oh, if you got prepaid, let me know. You give them your ticket."
But if you didn't ask, you wouldn't know. They would just people waiting online.
Why would you not do that?
And here's even better. I don't know if you caught this. I caught this because I got there a little bit after you. They had the line for if you printed out your tickets.
Yep.
Then there was.
That's what I did. I printed mine out.
Also, if you had it on your phone.
Right.
But they wouldn't look at that guy who took the paper tickets. Wouldn't look at your phone.
Wow.
He still made you wait online and go to the register to show them your phone.
Interesting.
Like, why?
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then they have to skate. I guess he can go back, take those tickets, go bing, bing, bing,
bing,
bing, bing.
But that was.
But still.
Yeah.
But why would you organize it like that? Have two separate lines. Prepaid.
And
not
prepaid. Yeah.
Why are you making this long ass line?
Also, they have like many registers, but they used 2. They could have really had more people.
And it's freezing up. Like I said, you could have packed that whole line inside that place.
We're
all adults. This isn't like Disney World.
Right.
It's not like people coming in, like they're going to see a concert coming in drunk or stoned. Everyone's
and we're not doing this in the spring. It's cold. It's February in New York. It was like 30 degrees. It was not warm.
I don't know why would they do that. But overall, it was very good.
Yeah, I agree. I would totally go again the next time they do it. I would 100% go again.
And I forgot to say this: the best part about these things, man, I say this with kindness, is the people, man.
Oh yeah,
I love seeing all the walks of life. You got cosplayers, you got your old school geeks and nerds, and I say that with such love. You know what I mean? Like you don't, I just love it.
I thought it was great to watch them. There were some. I mean, I did think it was a little strange because this happened more than once to us, where strangers are just like, "I'm playing with you now," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." Mm-hmm. We're a group of 7 people, but okay, you can play with us instead. Mm-hmm. I didn't mind it though. I mean,
it's all friendly.
It's all friendly and fun, but Mm-hmm. I personally would not go up to people that are already playing a game that I don't know and jump right in. But I wouldn't do it, but they did it and they won.
Yeah, actually, we'll tell you guys a quick story. So we ended up, my brother came, Uncle Rob, we're playing Smash Brothers. This is for GameCube. I'm not familiar with the GameCube version. I'm more familiar with the Switch now, actually, and the Nintendo 64 version. So anyway, it was the 3 of us playing, and also this one rando decides to sit in. Well, all right, fine, whatever. So this guy took advantage, because like my brother didn't even know which character he was.
He couldn't figure. I didn't know what I was doing.
And this guy, he ended up winning that guy.
Of course he did.
But he had a hard time beating us because I was telling you guys about Bruce Lee when he says, "Be afraid of the fighter who doesn't know how to fight because they're so unpredictable."
Just
so
wild.
This guy had the hardest time with us because we were just jumping all around. We didn't know who each other was. We couldn't figure out the buttons in time.
It was pretty funny.
It worked out.
It did.
We lost, but we made it. He had to earn that.
He had to earn that win.
Yeah, because he was like, I could
tell. You didn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm. But folks, we're going to talk about our favorite arcade games now, and we're going to start off with a childhood memory first. So, PJ, what was the first arcade game that you played, or one you can really remember?
I think if I had to really guess, it's one of 2. It's either the Ninja Turtles or the Simpsons game.
Yes.
And I gotta believe it was either at Tri-County, right? They had the arcade underneath, or right across the street was Chuck E. Cheese and then Nathan's.
Yes. Oh my God.
I think it was Chuck E. Cheese first, right? And then Nathan's?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It had to be one of those 2. I know we went to those places a lot because it was they were both walking distance from my house. I mean, they were right down the block.
Yes, exactly. Yep. And mine was The Simpsons. That's the one I remember like vividly playing. And Nassau Mall, that mall's no longer here, folks, on Long Island. But we used to have a place called Fast Fingers. Yep. It was like an old school arcade, and I actually beat the Simpsons game, PJ.
Did you really?
Because our friend, remember Anthony S?
Yes.
Respect his confidentiality, but he had a birthday party, so I guess this place didn't know how to like turn the machines into free play. So they used to give out like there was a bucket just full of quarters. You know what I mean? So
Right.
those machines are. I mean, most arcades are designed to eat quarters.
Absolutely, they are.
So, but I don't know how much. I mean, like I said, we had to pay for it because it was his birthday party. But anyway, I beat The Simpsons.
Nice.
And the last level is, for those who are curious, because I'm sure everyone who's listening to this has played The Simpsons games, but didn't have enough money to drop like $40 to beat it.
Yeah.
But at the end, you fight Mr. Burns. He's like in almost like a Ed 209, you know, from RoboCop.
RoboCop,
He
yeah.
kind of looked like he was in that.
Nice.
He had like a glass dome on him, but yeah, I saved Maggie, PJ.
All right, you saved Maggie. Very good. Yeah, it was definitely one of those two. The first arcade game I really remember was the Ninja Turtle, the first Ninja Turtle, like the side-scrolling Ninja Turtle one.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're going to just kind of dive into our favorites. Of course, we know there's some of the best, or we know Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom. We can go into those. I'm not sure those are on your list, PJ, but we acknowledge those are some of the best.
The best.
But, and the classics, but we want to talk about maybe some of the hidden gems, in my opinion. So, PJ, you want to start off, man? Any other?
So my first one's not a hidden gem, but it is. The reason it's on the list is I could play this game for hours. I find it zen. I find this game puts me in like a zen sort of just calm, relaxed mood.
Right.
Is Donkey Kong.
Oh, wow.
The original Donkey Kong. Now, I know people that have played Donkey Kong and have like panic attacks.
Right.
For whatever reason, when I play that game, like I just get so focused in on like the jumping and the right.
Yeah.
And if you get into the right rhythm, you'll never miss because you can figure out the programming of this game.
Yep.
It's not that random.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get into that rhythm, you could just completely zone out, and it's all muscle memory.
Right.
And you just hop, run, hop, run,
Right.
hop, run, next level, hop, run. And you just
Right.
go back and forth, and you get into this rhythm. And I just find it to be just so like mind-numbingly peaceful.
Yes, wow.
So that's why I like that game. It's not that it's the best arcade game in the world. I mean, it is a prequel to Mario, right?
Yep.
This is how we meet him. He's Jumpman, right?
Right,
When
yes.
we first meet him. So, I mean, there is a historical significance to that game. It's probably one of the most popular arcade games of all time. It gives you Mario. But for me, I like it just because of, like, the calmness.
So I get that feeling when I play Tetris.
Okay.
I feel very calm, but I know what you mean. But I'm stunned that you picked Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Wow. I love it. Mm-hmm. Good one, man. For me, guys, I just love racing games, man, at arcades when you just sit in that chair and you load up. So I put Daytona. I put like Cruising USA. You know, there's so many. Now they have Mario Kart.
Oh, they have
But
them all, yeah.
I love those, man. I think there's so much fun. Especially you play with a row of friends and you crash into each other. They're so good. But PJ, I'm going to get maybe a little sexy right now, maybe perverted.
Oh, boy.
Is that bad?
No, I'm for it.
This is what we talk about at the lunch table. So, I don't know, man. I'll just say I just get horny, man. Like when you see like the motorcycle games, and you see like a pretty girl, your girlfriend or whatever, your wife or something, just straddle
on
that
the thing.
Oh my god! So all the guys going on dates. You take your dates to Dave and Buster's or Chuck E. Cheese or something like that.
Maybe not Chuck E. Cheese.
Right.
Maybe not Chuck E. Cheese.
Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, Dave and Buster's is a better idea.
But man, that's the best view, man. Jeez, like to put my quarters in that slot. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah,
amazing.
Damn. But anyway, I had to say that.
I am terrible at those games, by the way.
Really?
I'm not good at them.
Do they have? I'm jumping all over the place. Do they have a Twisted Metal like that?
I've never seen one.
Like a shooting car game. I mean, I know you have Mario Kart, but I'm like those kind of like more like Destruction Derby type.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I've seen one. I mean, I know they have, like I said, the Jurassic Park and stuff where you're in the truck and you're shooting dinosaurs, but I don't know if they have a
Twisted Metal
Metal one. Yeah, I'm not sure if they have that. They must.
Yeah, but any of that, like kind of just sitting there with like a Crazy Taxi, or all that stuff is fun. I remember there's one game I can't remember. It's like almost like you sat like in an army tank or something like that, or the Star Wars one. You had like it was like you were like sat like in an X-wing.
Yes,
I think it acted like as both. Like it was an X-wing, then it could be like
it could be a TIE fighter or whatever. Yeah,
and the remote was also the joystick was also like a lightsaber at one point.
Yeah,
that was good. What else you got, PJ?
So this one's actually a little bit newer. We're not talking about an old school arcade game, but I found it fun. Is the Halo arcade game?
Oh,
I thought that was a good one. I like having again, it's a shooting game, right? But I was never a big Halo video game fan. Like I played it. I think it's a fine game, right? But it's not my my favorite. I'm not usually a first-person shooter game when it comes to a console game. But I went into, I guess it was a Dave & Buster's. It may have even been round one in the mall. I don't know which arcade it was, but I walked in, and there's this glowing orb of light.
Right.
I'm like, what is this game? I didn't see the sign. I just see, like, neon green lights. It's just like a circle. And I get closer, and it's a Halo game. And I'm like, well, this is like you're sitting down in it. You got a gun. It's this whole thing. And it's just like the video game. It's not like it's that much different. But I don't know. There's something different about having the gun. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And then you're holding it. You're going against whoever you're playing against. You're trying to shoot everybody. But you're in this machine. It's glowing in the dark. You have the giant laser gun. You're trying to just kill all the people. And it was very fun. And if you Google that machine, or maybe we'll put a picture of it on our Instagram or whatever, it doesn't. I don't know. I just feel like it doesn't look like a regular arcade game. It's much more eye-catching and definitely more modern. I thought that was a fun one. I like the arcade games they're coming out with now because they're more than just standing in front of a box. They're much more interactive. Sometimes even the machine itself, the way it's set up, plays into it. You have like sometimes the screens are almost full 360 screens now. And
some even almost like a motion simulator. Like certain ones, like it's pretty wild.
Yeah, and that's Halo is one of those where like the screens are extra big. It's glowing in the dark. Yeah, that was a good one.
I didn't even know they had a Halo arcade thing. Nice. Well, actually, Pete, that's a nice segue because this is another shooting game. Okay, this is different though. You remember Aerosmith?
Yes.
It'd be like they had to like go on tour and you had to like help them like get to each venue, and like Steven Tyler would be like, walk this way, you know what I mean? And like and it'd be like every time you beat a level they would play like Sweet Emotions. And then like you would have to like knowing especially like in the games where you have to use a gun, you always have to like make sure you don't shoot the civilians and stuff like that. But this was like babes or groupies. And it'd be like these girls like dancing on poles or like stuck in cages.
Right. That's funny.
And I remember I beat that game with a friend of mine. I actually beat out a bowling alley. You know? And I remember both of us were kind of too short. We had to stand on milk crates. They used to keep that like in arcades, like milk crates nearby.
Yeah.
So I used to do that. But I remember in the game, you had like the gun itself was like a machine gun. But then like you always get like a power up, like it was like you get grenades or something. But one was you actually shot like CDs, like compact disc, and that would be like basically ways to like practically like, decapitate people. So it was like anyway, I love that game. And I remember, and at the end you get to the concert and like you get like a backstage pass and everything. But yeah, it's a really great game.
It's almost like the ride in Disney. You got to get them.
Oh yeah, exactly. The roller coaster.
Yeah, it's like the roller coaster. And it has them kind of talking while you're going upside down and shooting their thing, and you hear like sound clips of them just like yeah.
And I think I'm trying to, this could be like what they call it, like the Mandela effect. You're not really sure if it actually happened, but I think if like you like died and you have to put more money. I think they were playing like Dream On or something like that.
That's amazing.
Something on, but I remember they played like. I think they had, Walk This Way, Sweet Emotions, pretty sure Dream On, and I think they had Back in the Saddle, like, in terms of the soundtrack, you know? But, that was awesome, though.
Was it the Walk This Way with Run DMC or just them?
I think it was just them.
Just them?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Well, that's actually a pretty good segue to my next pick because you had a musical act in yours and I have a musical act in mine. Is Michael Jackson Moonwalker.
Oh, great choice.
That's such a great game. Now, that game was on consoles also.
Yes.
So you could play it on Genesis or whatever. But the arcade game was just always more fun to be in an arcade playing a game. It's so ridiculous. Like, you're playing as Michael Jackson. You're in the Smooth Criminal outfit for the entire thing. You're wearing the white suit and the white hat. He's throwing the hat as his weapon. He's got some sort of like weird magic that he blasts people with. And then he turns into a robot if you
Right.
And then Bubbles comes.
Yeah.
And you got to run to the boss level. And then if you gain enough like I don't know stars or whatever it is, like you fill your meter, you can make all the bad guys dance. Yeah, and you do the I think it's the Smooth Criminal dance.
Yeah, or Thriller.
Depending
on the level.
And then they all die. Everyone just dies, and then you continue on with it. And if you catch the shooting star, that's how you turn into like an alien robot.
Yeah.
It's so I think
wild. It was based off his movie Moonwalker, which was like 3 music videos in
Yeah,
a row with
yeah.
like he had to fight Joe Pesci.
Yeah,
you know?
yep.
But yeah, he turns into that robot, in the video game. Like he does at the end of the movie where
Yeah.
he fights Joe Pesci. But yeah, I'm curious, like. How did I feel like that game just appeared. I remember being advertised as a kid. I feel like all of a sudden you went into like an arcade.
And there's Michael
you were
Jackson.
like, oh my god, it's Michael Jackson video game. You know?
And he has to free the kids, right? That's the whole thing is you got to free all the kids at the end of each.
Yeah, you had to find all the boys.
You had to find all the little boys.
I don't think there's any girls in there.
There was not. No, he doesn't care about saving them. You need to save them little boys. You got to save Macaulay Culkin.
Right? Yeah. And Bubbles was like his.
And Bubbles
the
was
pet,
like with
monkey.
That was his
right?
pet
like
monkey.
A, like a
and
orangutan
Bubbles
or
shows
something?
shows up near the end of each level to show you where to go to get to the boss or something. Then you
Right.
you have like a monkey sitting on your shoulder pointing where to go. It's wild.
Yeah.
It's just wild.
I'm trying to think of the game. I think he like when he spun around, he'd be like, "Woo!" Right, like,
Yeah.
"Woo!" You know what I mean? I also like sometimes I like the cabinet itself, like the artwork.
Yeah.
You know, had like his feet doing that moonwalk.
Yeah.
Like, like line, like it was like a 3D looking thing. You know? Yeah, I really miss like that kind of art, man.
Yeah.
Artwork. It was great. A lot of cabinets have that nice stuff. It was great. It was like a comic book. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it really is.
Like,
or like a movie poster.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Really
Eye-catching. Sometimes you wouldn't even know what the game is, but you'd see the cabinet and you'd be like, I don't know what this is, but I got to try it out. It looks awesome.
Right. Yeah.
Pinball machines are like that too, because they're all themed to like
Yeah.
different bands, different movies. I mean,
Yeah.
those are like works of art. The pinball machines.
I think we talked about this our episode from the past. We talked about I think it was like the Harry Potter exhibit.
Yeah.
The store in New York City. We talked about pinball and Animaniacs too.
Yep.
I think it was episode 2 or 3. Those want to check it out. But I love pinball machines. I don't love playing them though. I find them very frustrating. I find them like boring too at the same time.
I like a
can't
good pinball game.
I can't get into it. Like I love looking at. I wish they could make a ride where I can actually sit in a wall and just bounce all around. But I love the look of a pinball machine.
I don't know how
like
they
playing
haven't
them.
come up with that. You'd think that seems like
Yeah.
they could do that. Make
Like
a
a
ride.
roller coaster
Yeah.
that like mimics it. Yeah.
The closest thing where I felt like a pinball was in Disney. They have it's gone now, in Animal Kingdom, in the dinosaur section. They had I forget what it was called. It was like this little weird roller coaster
Like
thing.
a wild mouse kind of
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
that's what it feels like to be a pinball.
Right.
But I like a pinball game. I mean, I don't think I could spend as much time in just a pinball arcade
Yes.
as I can on a regular arcade. I
for
like
sure.
a mix of both. But I just find the pinball games are like the sounds and like they play
Yes.
the music and there's the
yeah.
ding 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 and all that
Yeah.
other stuff. It's very like just catching.
Absolutely.
It's almost like a slot machine.
Yes, I was just about to say a picture. I'm surprised. Are they in Vegas? I'm sure they are in there, but
Pinballs? I mean,
yeah,
probably.
I feel like for some reason I feel like you can gamble on that. you
Yeah,
know,
it
like-
feels very slot machine like.
exactly. They could be sexy too. They have like a Playboy version.
They do. They
and
have
all
all
that
sorts
stuff.
of crazy versions.
So,
Think they have like a barbed wire one with like what's her
with
face?
Pam.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Nice. PJ, actually, next games I want to kind of going back into the gun games. So, like I said, we talked about earlier about Terminator. Had like the red and blue gun.
Yep.
Then you had the Jurassic Park gun game, Time Crisis.
Oh, that was a good one.
One of my favorite things about Time Crisis was like I used to always shoot the civilians by accident, and they would just obviously bait you into shooting them, so they would just pop out and be like, "Help me!" You know.
Like,
Yeah, but I still walk around going, "Help me!" randomly in my life. But PJ, I love this game. It's called Dead Storm Pirates. It's when you sit in a booth, you both get guns, but in the center it has like a ship, like a boat
Right.
wheel. I
Okay.
can't with a helm, whatever hell it is. But I love that game, and I'm recommending it for all couples out there or guys that go on dates because, guys, it's romantic. Okay, you're in this closed-in booth. You both got your own gun. You're playing the game, and it's a great way to like build a rapport with the girl and everything. And you'd be like, you put them in charge, guys. I'm giving the guys some real advice right now. When you're there with your girl or on your date, you go, you steer. And when the time comes, they give you prompts. Oh, turn left, turn right, and trust me, you go, all right, you really like amp it up. You act cartoonish. Trust me, that girl's gonna love you. You know, it's a great way to. It's a great date video game.
All right.
It's fun, but yeah, it's pirates or the Dead Storm Pirates, and it's fun. You're like shooting crap, shooting other bugs, and crabs. But yeah, I love that machine, and yeah, I've done well in that machine.
All right. Put that machine on the rotation. We spoke a little bit about driving games, right?
Yes.
I have one favorite driving game that I will always play. It's the Batmobile.
Oh my God.
And you get to drive as Batman.
Yes.
And you're in the Batmobile.
Whoa, I just got a flashback.
Right?
Mhm.
That is just the best. I think.
Was that when you just drove around, right? You didn't fight or anything. You just drove around.
You just drove around. You were just driving through Gotham. And I think you were going after the Joker's car or whatever.
Yep.
And you would try and stop the car and shit like that. But the fact that, because you don't get to drive the Batmobile in real life.
No.
You don't get to drive the Batmobile. They had they had the 1989 Batman movie arcade game also.
Yep.
And you would, just play as Batman and fight through. It was like a side scroller. But the Batmobile one, when you're in the chair, you got the steering wheel, and you feel like you're Batman driving the Batmobile. I always liked that one.
Like kind of sitting in that, like I said, you said that cabinet, in that booth.
Yeah.
Oh man, it makes a difference.
It does.
Makes such a difference.
The booth, when you're sitting in it and it's big and it's, they have some newer ones now too, where you're really inside of a thing. But the original one was really just like a chair.
Yeah.
With a bat symbol on the back of it, and
the steering wheel, wasn't it like the bat symbol?
It was
basically?
Yep. I like that one because I like the idea of I could be the Batman and drive the Batmobile. If I could have an arcade game in my house, that might be the one I would have.
Whoa!
That might be the one I would have, just because one, it's a comic book thing, and so I like comic book stuff. But I would love to get one of those for the store. They're probably thousands of dollars if you can even buy one of them. But if I was going to get an arcade game for the store, I would want the Batmobile one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's funny because I have this on my list. So, I always wanted this machine. I feel like you talked about before, playing a game that gives you zen. I like playing golf games.
Yes.
When you have to spin that ball.
Yeah.
Or even a ball, sometimes like a bowling game attached within the same cabinet. I don't know. I just find it very zen. You just go I can just hear the ball spinning I can hear that sound now of the ball spinning. But yeah, Golden Tee.
Yeah.
And I just remember playing Golden Tee at a bowling alley. And just in the smell of smoke before they banned smoking everywhere.
Yeah.
But I just remember smelling smoke, playing Golden Tee. But other sports games, like I said, Golden Tee, bowling games, and NBA Jam, bro.
Yes, NBA Jam is a good one too.
Like I said, going back before, guys, it's these games anyone could just go on that and start playing. You don't need. There's no the learning curve is so
seconds long. You figure it out real quick.
Exactly, and they're fun. You can play endlessly.
Yeah,
endlessly.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the games today aren't good. I don't want to sound like an old man and be like they're not. They're very good. They're they're so realistic. You might as well play real basketball or football at this point. You need
a degree, a PhD to play Madden. I'm just not good at it anymore.
No way.
I used to be good at those sort of sports games. I'm just not good at it anymore.
But Blitz is you just instantly. It's fun. There's always a line to play it.
Yeah, NBA Jam, same thing. You're playing it's not because it's not real basketball. You're not you just.
Yeah, but it's
jamming the
arcade.
ball
Exactly.
it's
supposed to be
more
ridiculous.
fun.
You could check each other.
Yeah.
People going on fire.
Yeah.
All the lines, boom, shakalaka.
It's great.
The ridiculousness of it. But we're gonna say.
I don't know if this counts as an arcade game.
Oh,
but they have them in arcades, so I'm gonna go with it. I always like playing skee ball.
Yeah.
I don't know if that counts as an arcade or not because it's not really. A cabinet, but they're always in arcades, which is where the only place you're going to find them, really.
Yes.
Either an arcade or a carnival, I guess. I just find that's another fun game.
Yep.
I could play that. If you get the one right in the middle or the small one on the top and you get all the tickets start shooting out at you, it feels good when you play skee ball and you get a lot of tickets. You just feel good about yourself. I don't know what it is. There are other games in arcades where you get tickets and shit, but you just don't. I don't know. If you get a lot of tickets at skee ball, you feel like you've accomplished something.
Yeah, I think that game and the basketball.
I hate the basketball.
Really?
I hate it.
I love those.
I'm so bad at it.
Really?
I'm not a good basketball player.
They have. Excuse me. I like the ones too. Where you throw a football.
That one I like. Yeah,
that one's cool. They have one where it's I think it's Homer Simpson's a soccer goalie. And you gotta kick a ball past him.
Yeah.
That one's cool. Yeah, those games are always fun as well as they're Big Bertha. You gotta shoot her teeth out. Like you said, those are we'll consider them arcade games. Yeah.
I mean, it's in an arcade. Here's another thing about arcades. We've all done this. You save up all these tickets.
Yep.
You have what you feel like
I know,
is a plethora of tickets. You look at them and you're like, nobody has ever had this many tickets that I have right now. I can't even hold these tickets in my hand.
Right.
I need help carrying my tickets. And you bring it into the little like prize room or whatever, and you're like, look at all of my tickets. I would like the biggest prize. And they're like, well, for the amount you have, you can get an eraser.
Right.
And you're like, what the fuck? How is this possible?
Or like a bracelet or Chinese finger trap
yeah,
thing.
the Chinese finger cups. Yeah. You're like,
Eraser.
you're like, but I've been playing for hours. Look, I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tickets. They're like, but you need 20,000 to be able to get anything of. You need like 1 million tickets, and people save them because they go. You'd save your tickets. I don't know if this has ever happened to you where you save your tickets.
Yep, I did. I used to do that.
And you're like, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna get this thing. But the arcade closes down.
Yes.
And you're like,
no,
I don't know how to do my tickets. Is there anyone else gonna honor these tickets? No one's gonna honor those tickets. Just a waste of time. You should have got the eraser.
I remember, like, vividly, I think I was, like, maybe, like, 14, 15, and I was, like, pissed off because I had, like, a ton of tickets. I won it in, like, like, those machines where the light bulb goes around, you gotta stop it.
Yep.
And I won, like, I don't know, like, 300, you know? I'm like, I can't get shit with this. And then all of a sudden, I was like, wait a minute. I could just buy these prizes somewhere else. I could buy that candle made out of, like, that looks like Batman's head. I could just go buy that.
And for way cheaper than it would be to earn all these tickets.
Exactly.
And there's never actually a prize you want.
Yeah, yeah. And the best prize is always, like you said, is like something like, it's like the off-brand of something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's rare to actually have like a super really good prize. My dad got a really good prize. My nieces and nephew won him, like, my dad loves the Rolling Stones. They got him this nice, like, it like lights up and everything. It's perfect. Like if you have like a basement or something. But that's probably the best thing I've ever seen, like someone win.
Now you go into there and it's all Funko Pops. Everyone, you get enough tickets cash in, you get a Funko Pop. And like you said, you could just go and buy the Funko Pop for like $10.
I remember that being like a teenager. I'm like, oh my God, I could just buy this crap.
Yeah.
You know, instead of wasting this time. I remember being a kid feeling so defeated. You know what I mean?
Was there a point in time when you were like, I guess I don't find arcades fun anymore? And like you stopped?
I think it started to stop when like, I think early 2000s where like the consoles were just annihilating them.
Right.
I mean, they're gone now. Now it's more of like, you know, now they added alcohol.
Yeah, yeah.
and they made them all free.
Yeah.
The problem was, it's like you could drop 40 or I could buy a video game for 40. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I mean, you had video games, obviously, you can buy at home, but like the arcade was a different thing. But the birth of online playing changed a lot. That was a big thing. Because you used to socialize. I actually wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, because I remember we used to go to the arcades. Like, we would go to them.
Yeah.
But then we just stopped. I don't know if there was a reason we stopped.
I think it just came, like, then like, I think it becomes like you had online, like the birth of like, you know, remember SOCOM?
Yeah,
Like,
remember SOCOM,
that was the birth of that. Then you had the birth of like StarCraft, Warcraft, the computer gaming was like the internet. You had, all of a sudden you started having home consoles that had like, not just 2-player, then you had 4, you know, you had Dreamcast, since then Nintendo 64 had that. So now you had the ability to play with more people at home, and it just, you know, arcades can't keep up with that.
Yeah.
And they're expensive. You know, they're designed to eat quarters. They're designed to eat money.
And now you can't. Now you don't even get a quarter. You have to like load money on a card, and
That's
you swipe
ridiculous.
the card. And
I cannot believe they're still doing. I can't believe Dave and Buster's. If you're listening to this, let me look at the camera. If you're listening, Dave and Buster's, please just do away. I'd rather pay like you play for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like you pay like $50, unlimited play. You know, I would do that.
I just don't want to keep loading up the card. Yeah.
Instead of, you know, my God, one. And then what's this thing? It's not like each game is like something simple, like, oh, this is, you know, 5 points. You do it by 5s, 5, 10.
Right.
You know, it's like 2009, like 2090.
It's ridiculous.
300 and like
you can't keep up with that. You can't keep up with the math.
It's like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
You know, just do it by like basic digits. This one's 10, this is 20. So if I know I put 300 on a card, I know this amount instead of putting like 210s.
You never know. You just never know where you're at. And you always wind up. They do it on purpose.
Of course.
They make it so you can't follow it, so you have to reload the card.
You gotta recharge it. You gotta recharge.
You gotta recharge the card. I'm like, I don't have time for this.
Oh my God.
That's what I liked about last night. Was there's none of that. You just play.
Yeah,
yeah.
You know, I think they would make more money. Just pay a bigger fee. I'd rather do that.
Yeah. Rather than keep loading up the card, yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God! But PJ, I want to talk about old school arcades and just like that vibe, you know, and just kind of go down memory lane. So for me, I remember like, besides like a Chuck E. Cheese, all that kind of stuff. Like when I think of Chuck E. Cheese, I think of used to like the skee ball, all that. I think, but when I think about real arcade, was the height of Mortal Kombat. That was to me was like the pinnacle of arcade because we weren't around. I mean, we were born in the '80s, but I mean, like I'm sure people growing up had seen like Space Invaders for the first time and all that stuff. But like Mortal Kombat, there was so many people went to the arcades just to like watch people play each other.
Yeah.
Then it was like the mystery of like fatalities. It creates something so crazy. I know Street Fighter was awesome, but that's a better game pound for pound in terms of like ability and technically and all that stuff. But like the craze and the phenomenon of Mortal Kombat and just wanting to see like just line. I used to just want to watch people play because obviously the competition was great, seeing people play. But like you want to see like just to, like insult to injury,
right?
They do a fatality.
Yeah,
it's like
like when he turns into a dragon and shit. You're like, oh, you just got eaten. Absolutely.
That feeling, man, was just unbelievable.
There was also something about arcades too. I don't know, like even if you go into like a Dave and Buster's now or something like that, it doesn't feel the same. Like an old school arcade, you would go in there, maybe they would have like shitty pizza. Maybe. Right? They may not have any food at all.
Right.
The most you were getting is like shitty microwave pizza and like a Pepsi. You know what I mean? Like
that I always remember those pizzas you would get. The cheese was always like a yellow.
It was always a weird,
white,
yeah.
Ugh.
They were like thin. They weren't good, but we ate them like they were the best things ever.
Yeah. Ugh.
But you know what I mean? If you were lucky and you were hungry, the arcade may have that pizza. There's no guarantee. You could go into an arcade and you could that's it. You're hungry. There's nothing to eat. There's nothing to drink. But it was still fun. You go into like a Dave and Buster's now and there's like a hibachi restaurant inside of it.
Yeah.
It's like, what's happening? I just want to play video games.
Yeah,
I had someone squirting sake at me when I'm trying to like Mario Kart. What's happening? It's not the same. I don't know. I feel like in an effort to modernize everything and keep things new and exciting, they've taken away the charm of what it used to be.
And they add alcohol.
Yeah.
you add alcohol to the mix, it's going to drive people to come, especially adults.
Yeah.
Which I'm not.
It's fine.
That's
No,
fine.
it's fine.
I get it. But that was a time to be alive. I really wish like my nieces and nephew could have seen like the phenomenon, and the social component was awesome because it was like the movies, like those old movies. You'd be like, there was like that one kid who was like the master of the game, like the villain. You ended up, he was like real cocky, and then when someone beat him, it was like, oh. It was so triumphant. Everyone was just bugging out, Yeah,
it was a different time, I guess. Really,
sure was.
But it was arguably a more fun time. I mean, I think I was talking to your brother last night about it, whatever, because he was looking for one of your nephews and he was like texting him or whatever. We were like, we didn't have phones.
Yeah.
So like we would go to these places, whether it was an arcade or wherever we went.
Yeah.
Or you remember you go to like a movie theater, but the movie theater had like a mini arcade in it, right?
I miss those, man.
Me too. Because we used to go to them. We would go to the movies and go to the arcade. You'd get to the movies early because you had to wait online. Anyway, you couldn't buy the tickets in advance. And you're like, well, I'm here. And they gave you an arcade in the theater.
Yeah.
And it's like your parents would never know where you are because there's no way to call them. Mm-hmm. They just had to accept that we were going to come home alive.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's not like you go to a movie. You don't go to a movie theater early now.
Yeah.
Because you buy your tickets online.
Yeah.
You show up 5 minutes before the thing. They bring the snacks like to your chair. Yeah. So they don't have arcades or games set up in theaters anymore. Yeah. Now where they used to have it is a bar.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I remember we used
That's
to.
what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're replacing video games with a
bar. But I remember we used to go to different movie theaters and stuff when we were kids, and we would play the arcade games in the theater.
Yeah,
or the bowling alley used to have like a small little arcade in it too.
Yes.
They don't have stuff like that anymore.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what they have in the bowling alley now? Fucking bar.
Exactly.
It's always a bar.
Yeah. What's it called? Bowler. What's it called? Like, oh my god, I was saying that bowling was faint. Like, it does that.
The Bolero.
That's it. Bolero.
Yeah, the Bolero.
And they bring it like you order it. And they bring the food to you now. Yeah. And even like golf now. Top Golf. Is like it's an arcade. They gotta add the booze.
There's the booze. Top Golf. We used to have a driving range.
You gotta add a bar to the
store. Yeah, we need a bar in here. We used to have a driving range. 5 minutes from here? Sky Drive at right on 110 in Farmingdale. Yes. There was no bar, but they had an arcade in there. They did. They had mini golf, the driving range, and inside there was like not a big arcade, but a couple of games in there. There was a handful of games. You could air hockey and shit.
Yeah.
Now that place is gone. You're right. Top Golf is a bar. It's a bar with golf clubs, which seems like a terrible idea.
Exactly. Oh my God, what was I gonna say? Because my friend Dave used to work at Nathan's.
Okay.
And we're talking about skee ball crane machines, like trying to get.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
So he said those things are obviously rigged.
Yeah.
There's a tension bar. So like there's a thing like you see like, the claw pick something up and just kind of just like lets go of it. There's a thing in there that can make that like a fucking like like a vice grip, like a death grip. So like it'll pick things up instantly.
Right.
That's why those machines that say like you will always win, the tension in it is like they make it super strong. They can choke someone to death with that thing around someone's neck. So my friend Dave's like, that's the mystery because I used to say, oh man, this machine is making a lot of money, but no one's winning, because the thing's like full. So they would do it, to kind of balance it out
a bit. Interesting.
All that stuff. I used to love playing games like winning stuffed animals and
you know
what I mean. I won a ton of crap like that. I won a piggy bank. I remember.
I used to like going to friendlies, and then after when we would finish eating, they had the one in the front.
Yes.
There was never anything worth winning. Every so often they'd have like a Superman or something in there.
Yeah.
But whatever, I just used to like to. I used to be able to win at that one all the time. I used to like that crane game.
Yeah, because those I think it's like like a nickel for them to put that thing in there, and they put like $1 in there, whatever the heck it is. I also like when you get like you can win like a mini basketball or a football.
Yeah,
those are always the best too. Like I love winning those.
And it's almost like there's stuff, but it's almost like plastic or something around it, and it has like the team logo on it.
Yeah. That's good. Oh, PJ, I just want to talk about this one last thing.
Okay.
That's okay. So, folks, we're at the arcade night at the museum, and we couldn't figure out this game. It's called Polybius.
Oh my God!
So it's this black and white cabinet. It's like I think it's called like a vector screen, right? Where it's just like very like I guess very old school.
Yeah.
But it still kind of looks innovative at the same time. So when I heard back in the day, and there's like videos on this on YouTube that Polybius was supposedly made by the government to help them recruit like fighter pilots or like
they don't
astronauts.
want me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that after last night.
Well, we couldn't figure. Maybe that's why it really was. Maybe that's how the urban legend started. Because
Maybe
this game was difficult. There's only like one button to press. You think it would be simple? I couldn't figure it out.
I couldn't do it. I
It's
spent way
almost
too much time trying to figure that shit out.
It looks like I can't name the game, but it's like we were a spaceship where you're like kind of spinning around and you shoot like bullets to stop asteroids. Yeah. Maybe it's an asteroid.
But this game, I don't know.
You're like a
star,
like an octagon type of looking thing, and then like you're like spinning, and then these things are trying to hit it. But I guess you got to like time it right to where you like repel them. But I could not figure it out.
I couldn't figure it out.
But maybe there's really some truth to it. So
that's probably why the government never recruited me for any top secret missions, because I couldn't figure that shit out. I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I thought at one point I thought I had it. I'm like, oh, I definitely got it. Right. And they're like, no, you lost again. You push this button, and it almost grows like a web.
Yes.
And I thought that was good because I was trapping these things in the web, and they all exploded.
Yeah.
I'm like, I must have won.
Right.
I lost. I didn't do good on that game. I have to try and like Google just so I know what it's supposed to do. And then next time I'll try. But maybe it's good that I don't want to get recruited by the government.
Yeah.
I want to be part of like the Space Force.
I recommend people check out Angry Video Game Nerd on YouTube. He does a whole video about playing Polybius. It's awesome. It's like almost like a horror film. He's so good, that guy, James Rolfe. He's so good. I recommend that, his video about Polybius. It's awesome. And then I'm pretty sure, if my memory's correct, Nine Inch Nails released a song called Less Than. I'm going by memory here. Great song. And I think the video I think they're playing Polybius. I think.
Really?
I think. Or it's like, maybe it was a fan-made video. I'm trying to think, but I know it's something that's about that. Yeah.
Well, what's funny is
I could be wrong though, folks. But I'm pretty sure.
The Clerks cartoon. I don't know if it was only like 6 episodes.
Yep.
I don't know if anyone remembers the Clerks animated series.
Yeah, I always say a joke from that show. Like 2 of them. I used to have a friend. His last name was Leonardo.
Leonardo. Yeah.
And there's another episode where like I think they're like I don't know, they're getting like become slaves.
Yeah.
And like whipping them. They're like work. Everybody work.
That's the episode I was going to talk to you about. the beginning of that episode is he plays an arcade game.
Right.
And they have to like build a pyramid.
Right.
And Randall is like the best at building the pyramid. And it was a thing where they recruit him to then like put him in slavery to build pyramids.
Right.
So it kind of reminded me of the Polybius
shit.
thing. I wonder if that's where they got the idea for the episode from.
Yeah. And I think there's another episode in that animated show where I think it's like almost like a pandemic or something like that, or they get sick, and there's a sign on like on the wall that says "Try not to breathe." I just love that joke, and it's like they don't even acknowledge it; it's just in the background.
Yeah, just try not to breathe.
Try not to breathe.
Well, because they ate like a burrito that like was like left out in the sun, like a frozen burrito, and it gets everyone like sick, and they decide that it's like a pandemic.
Right. Yeah.
The deadly. I think they kept calling it the Motaba virus, like an outbreak.
Yeah, dude, I haven't watched that episode in like 20 years plus.
But it's funny.
I remember those lines from that show. Good stuff. But PJ, anything else, man?
No, I think we've said it all about arcade games. I mean, there's a ton more we didn't talk about.
Yeah, there's so many.
I mean, the Ninja Turtle games, Turtles in Time is another great one. X-Men.
There's tons.
Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah.
There's a ton.
Yeah.
We could spend hours, but
yeah.
The idea here, folks, is find an arcade and go play.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, folks, you know the deal. Same time, same table.
Have a good one.
Boys and girls, lunchtime is over. For more information, visit their website at coolkidslunchtable.podbean.com. Follow the boys on all social media platforms. Just search Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast. Now get to class before you get detention.